Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing today? How was your weekend? I would love to know, and I would love for you guys to tell us on Living With Us social media. That's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Just let us know. Did you do any of the things that I shared on Friday, actually? If you went to any of those events, please let us know. Share pictures, use the hashtag Living With Us. Now, for today's story, we're going into the story of fertility, or infertility more specifically. Our guest is Sheila Waki, and she's currently creating awareness on all matters around infertility. And she also has a Facebook page called Hannah's Heart, where she's been very open and graciously shared her story and her journey through infertility. And the reason why this is a conversation that we want to share and have with you is because a lot of times when you're growing up, and especially as a woman, there's this preconceived story that's already set out for you on how your life needs to be. And a big part of that story is children. How many children are you going to have? When are you going to have them? What's the space between them? How should you raise them? It can be exhausting, but for a lot of women, it's not that easy. And in fact, it's the most complicated part, the part about having children. It's not that easy. And here's a quick fact for you. According to the 2017 data by Kenya Fertility Society, 2 in every 10 couples suffer from infertility. So it's something that's a lot more common than you realize, and yet it's not that talked about. It's still quite taboo. But welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
How are you feeling today?
Excited,
Yeah?
excited.
What did you do for the weekend?
Lots of church,
Okay.
because I serve full time. So for me, it's lots of church, hanging out with my husband, lots of church.
Okay.
Church again.
So your husband, what's your husband's name?
Tele.
Yes. Okay, and how long have you been married?
8 good years, solid.
Oh, that's so nice. How did the two of you meet? Actually, I know this story. I'm just asking it for you guys, because earlier she was telling me and I was like, what? Okay, but yeah, why don't you share? How did you two meet?
Okay, so we were primary school desk mates, so that's where we met, but we did not start dating then.
Okay.
Heads up.
Okay.
Yeah, we started dating after we finished high school.
Yeah.
Just before we went into campus. No, actually, wait. We started dating.
Careful, this is where you could get in trouble if you don't get
so
that.
I really need to be
the
clear.
facts right.
Maybe I was in my own world at that point. But I remember we started dating before campus.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. So 8 years strong.
Yes.
And growing up, did you dream of having a family, or what were your thoughts on that, on having children and getting married?
You can't really say dream per se, because it's the natural thing to happen,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
So it's expected. So in myself, it's get married, have fun, have children.
Yeah.
Life goes on. Let's see what to do with life.
Okay.
You know.
So that was your order. So it was like,
Yes.
get married, have a little time out for the
Yes.
two of you, and then have children.
Yes.
And so at which point did you start to realize, like, this isn't quite like that plan I had in my head?
Yeah. So as soon as we got married, like straight from the honeymoon, which was say 2 weeks into our marriage, my mom-in-law was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Okay.
And I became her primary caregiver. So that consumed so much of my time and energy.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't disturbing you that year 1 has passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was sick for 2 years before she passed away.
Okay.
So that it really didn't bother us that much, because hey, you're busy with other things.
Yeah.
Then after that, year 3, and you're like, okay.
Yeah. And you were actively trying at this
Yes,
time.
very active.
Okay.
Though not saying, let's try this month.
Okay.
It's not like you're actively saying, you're just going along with the flow and enjoying life and saying, you know what, if they come, awesome. If they don't, let's deal with that when that gets there. Yeah.
So at which point or which year did you then decide, maybe I should go in and ask maybe my gynecologist if everything is okay? Or
2015, November, December, that was a very hard season for me. I just lost my best friend. So my body just exploded into very interesting issues. And I remember December, I got a very, very painful period. It
Okay.
was so painful.
Yeah.
That was our, okay, we need to see a doctor.
Yeah.
Something
And
is
when you
not
say
right.
painful period, you mean cramps or?
It was cramps on another level.
Okay.
It was just crazy.
Yeah.
So that was our wake up call.
Okay.
Like something is amiss. We
Yeah.
really need to see a doctor.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
go to the doctor and what do they say?
So we postpone a bit. We'll
Okay.
go, we'll go, we'll go, we'll
Yeah.
go. But come January, I developed some interesting symptoms while at work. I'm
Yeah.
shaking and it's not normal, headache slightly here and there. I'm rushed to Warwick, Nairobi Hospital.
Okay.
And they find my sugar levels are high. And they're like, well, that's a bit weird. You're exhibiting signs of low sugar. Why is your sugar high?
Yeah.
So that brought the questions, are you diabetic? Is
Yeah.
your family diabetic? What's going on with the sugars in your life?
Yeah.
And that prompted them to ask me to go for further tests.
Okay.
So it was that now caused us to see a gyna, and they end up finding I have PCOS.
And what is PCOS?
PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Okay.
And it has no, they don't know what causes it, and they don't have a clear like treatment for
option.
it.
Okay.
Yes. So what they do is just manage symptoms.
Okay.
And it can be non-symptomatic.
Wow.
So you're just moving around and yeah.
Okay. So the doctor diagnosed you with that at that point, and what are you thinking? What's going through your mind?
Me.
Yeah.
Me.
When they
Yeah. So he's talking to you like me. Oh, there's no one else in this room. Me.
Me,
Right.
sure. Yeah.
Right. Cool. Okay.
So how did you make peace with that? How did you come to terms with it? If at first your reaction is like, no, I hear what you're saying, but it couldn't
Yeah.
be about me.
Yeah.
So how did you then go and merge those two worlds, the world that you thought was your reality and what is actually your reality?
Just have a kamkunji with yourself.
Okay.
I just had a sit down with myself and I'm like, you know what, this is what it is. And it makes sense because, hey, there are no children.
Yeah.
So it does make sense.
Yeah.
1 and 2 together, it's okay. Let's
Yeah.
just accept. And what is the way forward?
Right.
So our next visit to the doctor was, what's the way forward?
And what did the doctor say at this point?
He then, they found other issues in addition to the PCOS. They found I had a blocked tube. My
Okay.
left blocked tube, my left fallopian tube is blocked.
Okay.
And they found I had fibroids. So for the doctor, it was more of surgery to remove the fibroid.
Yeah.
Because of where it was positioned. And that is what now we decided, let's
Yeah.
deal with this because it might help depending on where the fibroid was positioned.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear you. We asked a specialist to share some of the treatment options that are available to women suffering and men suffering from infertility. Take a look.
What infertility is, I think that's a very harsh word. Infertility means that it's absolute, and I like the word subfertility, which means that for a couple who have been trying to conceive, have been together for a year, and they're not able to conceive, then we think there might be a problem, and that we term as subfertility. The investigations that we do both on the male and the female to ascertain the cause of infertility or subfertility at that point, and then be able to determine the best mode of treatment for them. The treatment options are very varied and really depend on what we see in terms of the investigations that we've done. So it could be from simple treatments like an ovulation induction. This is especially for patients with polycystic ovarian syndrome where you don't ovulate every month. Most women don't even get their menses for a month or some even up to a year. For these people, we need to assist with medication, and that sometimes is the only thing that we need to do. Another thing that we could do for these patients is something called timed intercourse, and for this it's a bit more technical because you have to come for follow-up and for to check when you're ovulating, and then we're able to tell you when is the best time to have intercourse with your partner for a successful fertilization. Another treatment that we could do is intrauterine insemination, which is also artificial insemination, where we actually assist the sperm to get closer to the egg for fertilization.